player who says that getting reads on opponents, very, very important, very big deal. As we said with the John Finkel match, Nico respects John's ability to do that much better than he can, and just is so shocked at how much information that players give away during matches.
All right, well, we have the deck lists here for Nico Herzog against Carvalho. So let's start with Nikolai Herzog. Final Revels, Ghostly Changeling, Nameless Inversion, nice removal, 2 Scheduled Changeling, 1 Briarhorn, a Cloud Thresher, that's a mighty card, 2 Elvish Handservant, a couple of 1-drops there. They get big against Giants, and that means Changelings, of course. Guiltleaf Ambush, we've already seen, Imperious Perfect, a pair of Jagged Scar Archers. Do you like them?
Absolutely, especially in a deck that's willing to commit to elves so much that he's going to play 2 Elvish Handservants. They're great against decks with the flyers, just pinging them out of the air because you don't have to wait on that and try to block with them. And they're just big creatures for 3 mana.
Big creatures for 3 mana. We can identify with those. We are big creatures ourselves. Then we've got 1 Lignify. Sorry to lump you in there with me. 1 Woodland Changeling, a Ren's Run Vanquisher, Violet Pool. That is such a lovely card. At 5 mana, you start thinking, that's pretty expensive. But when you realise that you get the 1/1 straight away, and suddenly, not only are you taking out their big guy, but you do it pre-blockers, then you've got your 1/1 guy, you put that in front of a 2/1, and suddenly that's a real turnaround.
Yep.
So nothing wrong with that. Cream of the Crop, a pair of Earthborn, Game Trail Changeling, 1 Lissalana Bowmaster, 1 Winnower Patrol, and he's gone with 17 land, which is about average for the format, I guess.
Yeah, usually 17 or 18, and I'm interested to see how Cream of the Crop plays out. As a rare, it's a card I personally haven't seen a lot of experience with, or seen it in play very much, and I haven't seen it in a lot of other people's decks, but I hear that BDM likes it.
Yeah, I know that's something that he was talking about on MagicTheGathering.com on the Mothership, a card that he was very interested in seeing how it played out here. And a lot of players at the top tables, I've seen them in decks. I haven't really seen it much in action, but certainly players are thinking it's worth being in there.
Yep.
I hear it's quite good with Cloud Thresher. Ghostly Changeling is the first play from Herzog. We've got Treefolk Harbinger down for Marcio Carvalho. Let's have a look at his deck list. He's gone with 16 land plus, from the draft, a Guiltleaf Palace. So he's got the black-green land, 10 forests, a plains, 5 swamps, and again, being able to play just a single plains, fair enough. He's got 2 Oblivion Ring, the Black Poplar Shaman, or as we've got it here, the Black Popular Shaman, which is interesting. I didn't know he was that well regarded.
Seeing it in the top 8 makes it more popular than I would have thought it would have been.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. A Nameless Inversion of his own, Skeletal Changeling, the Regenerator, Thorntooth Witch we saw doing utterly naughty things in that 3rd game. Bogstrider Ash, Briarthorn, Crown Clown Oak. It's such a dull spell, but a 3/4 with reach for 4. It's so nice to have in your deck.
Yeah, it's an excellent Treefolk card.
Fertile Ground helps out with his mana, of course. Elvish Harbinger, Fistful of Force, a Trick, Guiltleaf Ambush. The Guardian of Cloverdale is a whopping great 7 mana, but if you get up there, it's absolutely fine. It's 4/5. You get 3 little guys. You can sacrifice them for life if you need to. Seek Guide Ash, a Treefolk Harbinger already in play, 2 of the Weed Prune and Poplars, so if he ever gets both of those down, that's -2/-2 to something, and that's something else that John Finkel's deck won't like. In fact, he may not like seeing either of these decks particularly.
No, the big hope for John in this type of matchup will be getting through on the ground fast. But with Marcio Carvalho 0-3 on the first turn and that Treefolk Harbinger, he might be able to stall long enough to push it through.
Yeah, I played a Kithkin deck at Champs when Lorwyn came out, and it was absolutely fine, except against the Doran deck that went turn 1 Treefolk Harbinger, turn 2 Doran, and all that, or turn 3 Doran, and all that kind of nonsense. And you just go, yeah, this is hideous. I cannot ever beat you.
Yep. Nikolai Herzog playing an interesting card there. Pulling Teeth. It's the discard spell for 2 mana. Clash with an opponent. If you win, target player discards 2 cards. Otherwise, that player discards a card. So it looks like that will force his opponent to discard 1 card. Keep the planes on top for the clash, and we see why. He's got the Oblivion Ring.
Just to let you know at home, we do appreciate that there are a few technical issues with the internet at the moment. It turns out that I'm speaking too many words per minute, and there's not sufficient bandwidth available coming from this region of the world. True story, says Scott Larrabee. Thank you for that. So that's the deal. We are, of course, working on that to bring you the best possible coverage evening and in America, morning, afternoon now in Asia, and silly o'clock in the morning in Europe. Oh boy. If you're up at the moment, by my reckoning, quarter past 1, yeah, that's going to be 5:15 in the morning back in the UK. Scary. All right, so there's Lignify from Nikolai Herzog.
It's a play we saw from him last game, and that's the important creature to hit it on the tree folk that allows you to put cards into play for free. You want to stop that from just overwhelming you. Hitting
the
death
Leaf Crown
touch
Elder.
the Leaf Crown Elder.
Yep.
Hitting the death touch Thorntooth Witch, without having to pay for it, and a number of other things. It's just not good.
All right, that looks like Guardian of Cloverdale on top of Marcio Carvalho's library. 5 mana in play. What's he going to do with that? He's going to keep it there. All right, so maybe he has land in hand. That would be 6, and then he's kind of just about there.
Again, Nikolai Herzog had the spring cleaning, the enchantment removal to destroy that Oblivion Ring. Catches his kinship on the upkeep there. I was talking with some American pros earlier today, and they asked whether or not playing 5 games makes a difference in your drafting strategy, whether you're going to start drafting more sideboard cards or sideboard options instead of simply taking middling picks away from other players. Mike Ron was one of the players that we were talking about, and he said he wasn't sure what the correct answer was, but it was definitely something he was going to consider for the weekend. Of course, he's out of the top 8, got swept in the first round in a bad matchup, and now we're watching Nico and Marcio. But it would be interesting to see what pros ring in on with that idea.
That looks like a Jagged Scar Archers that have come down there for Nico. The board pretty much clogging up here.
Yep.
How many life here? 12?
Scott Johns, of course, has been in 5 of these bad boys, 5 Pro Tour top 8s to his name, and I'm a little bit surprised not to see him in that Greater Hall of Fame consideration. But maybe, there's another year coming with not quite such a monstrous lineup as we were facing. So maybe there's hope for you yet, Scott. But something that Scott's pointed out to us is that another feature of the top 8 at these things, not just the 3 out of 5, but that once you're out of the quarterfinals, in order to make everything fair, because right now, the other players who've maybe finish their matches can be looking at what's going on here, the chance to, if you like, scout out for future matchups. They all get their deck lists, so they will get to look at their opponent's deck and go, right, you have 4 pieces of removal, you have 2 enchantment removal. That means that if I can play this enchantment, you haven't got a lot of answers to it, and so on.
Yep, and Herzog was obviously able to tell that his opponent's removal centered around the 2 Oblivion Rings, and is taking advantage of that by playing the Spring Cleaning, which is actually a pretty solid removal, because if you hit on that Clash and he's got both of them in play, you actually get to get both of them. It's a 2-for-1. Anytime you 2-for-1 on Oblivion Rings, that's a pretty exciting moment.
Absolutely. Just to let you know what's coming, the next bit of our broadcast at the end of this game, either way, what we're going to do is take you to see Ming Shi from China, and in fact, there we go. There's sweeping up, and so
overwhelming attack there with the Briar Horman as the backup. Marcio knew what was written on the wall and checked his top card and quickly scooped it in. Watch him shuffle for the second one. Nico is going to take another look at his sideboard, see if he forgot anything that he should bring in, or if he should re-examine for the next game being on the draw instead of the play.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave them to it, because they may take a while to sideboard and go through, and we are going to go and watch Game 4 between Ming Shi of China and Joel Calafel of Spain. Now, Ming Shi is 2-1 up. Calafel kicked off. He won the first game with his green-white deck, a little bit of splashing for red. He's got double Tarfire in his deck. He's got Rival's Duel. Rival's Duel's an interesting card. It's a card that, first of all, you read it, and you're not even quite sure you've understood it. You're thinking, is this a contested cliffs kind of thing? Is this an arena feel? And then you kind of say, all right, well, hang on. I'm going to have a bigger guy than his guy, and that's sort of the next stage of reading it. And then you go, wait a minute, if he's got like a 3-3 and a 2-2 that they share, or there's going to be a way to actually kill 2 monsters with this guy, and suddenly it's quite good.
Yeah, actually, it does lead to 2 for ones, and that's in a situation where your opponent has 2 creatures that don't share any creature types, and especially good with 3-3 situations, 2-2 situations.
All right, you are looking at Joel Calafel there from Spain, 2-1 down. He went 1-0 up. He still looks very calm under pressure. I mean, he's 19. What must he be feeling in the top 8 this powerful? I guess he must be quite pleased that we go to Ming Shi. So I guess that's as good a matchup as he could have hoped for, rather than being confronted with a